facing some of the biggest things people fear the most in life. What do you do every day to get through a day?
Bro, it's just like anything. Some days I have to slap myself out of bed. But there's 4 things I tell everybody that I ever meet. Look, you've got to get up every day. You got to dress up every day. That means you get out of your pajamas. You got to show up. That means get out of your house. Don't just sit on the couch all day. And then you're going to never give up. If you do those 4 things, you will live every day until you die. You will die a little bit every day. And to me, that is the most important part of living, is realizing that, look, man, God never said that this life was going to be easy. He just said you'd have a life, right? He never told you the road he was going to put you on was going to be smooth and clear. It might have been the most rocky and most turmoil-filled road he could put you on, because at the end, there was something great waiting for you. You just have to get to that end. And so, to me, when this came, and I thought, dude, I was just like everybody. 2 months before I got sick, I was just like, man, you know what? I've never broken a bone. I've been in combat. I've done all this different stuff. I mean, I was 272 pounds, beast of a guy, benching 545. People were like, dude, Marshall, you're like a superhero. I'm like, yeah. 2 months later, God reminded me I wasn't a superhero. He said, no, let me remind you you're human. And he came up with a terminal bile duct cancer, stage 4, and wrapped around my portal vein, which is the only vein that feeds your liver. And so because of the vascular interference, there was no chance for resection. There was no chance. And then they started looking deeper into it. And they think that the only thing holding my portal vein together is the tumor.
Really?
So they think the vascular wall may have already been compromised, and the tumor is the only thing keeping it together. So if it shrinks, I start to bleed out internally, and then I just go to sleep. So the cancer, in some ways, is saving my life.
I've never heard that before. I've never heard that, the possibility that it's actually the cancer that is
Keeping it together.
from, oh my goodness. How does that resonate with you? I mean, so now you're in a position where, okay, I don't want to fight to make the cancer shrink, because now getting rid of the cancer could kill me.
Exactly. So when they looked at it, they calculated, they said, you have, if we go in and we try to do this, there's a 7% chance of survivability. 7% chance of survivability. I asked them to do it 8 times, and they refused all 8 times. I begged them, I pleaded, like, look, I'll take the odds. I'll sign any paper you want. To me, it's worth that opportunity that, hey, if we lose, I ain't going to be here to know anyways, right? But if we win, it's
what was the fear? What was the reason you wanted?
No doctor wants to take that chance. The odds are too risky for them, right? There's no hospital in the United States that will take that on, right? They said you can go outside the United States and find somebody that maybe will do it. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to go to a third world country to get it done. I really would like to have people here to do it. So it was what it was what it was. So it was like, okay, man, I'm not going to get mad about it. Okay, what's the next step? So
hold on. When did this start?
So July of 21.
July 21 is when you were diagnosed?
Yes, July of 21, I was diagnosed. And immediately they went through the whole stage. They thought they could resect it at first. And then they started digging deeper and realized, yeah, that's not going to happen. And so then the next thing was a possible liver transplant. They fast-tracked me. So I was immediately put on the list. I had 13 doctors sign off on this. It was the most immediate. I was like, wow, how do you get signed off? I'm like, well, you're a healthy person. You've never drank heavy. You fit every category, a chance to live. And I was like, okay, and you're healthy. But the average life expectancy of a liver transplant is 5 years. That's it.
I didn't know that.
5 years. So that's your life expectancy. Now they've got people that are living longer, but 5 years. And I'm like, and you got a 2-year recovery time. So you're like, okay, I'm a quality of life person, not a quantity of life person. Like, I'd rather have 3 good years than 5 crappy ones. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, I'll go along with this. So they start going through the whole procedures of what they need to get done for this liver transplant. No impacted molars, no loose crowns, no, Anything that could possibly cause infection down the road through this whole period has to be gone. So they take 11 teeth out of my back of my mouth. Okay, 11.
Wow.
4 days later, they come to me and go, based on the latest scans, you no longer qualify for your liver transplant. We're sorry, but you need to take your teeth. And I was like, okay, wow.
How did you handle that part? Because, there's that hope and possibility, and then there's the crush, and then there's the hope, and then there's the crush. How did you do that psychologically?
To me, it was, everything has always been, it is what it is, right? It's going to be what it's going to be. I'm not going to ever get mad at doctors or nurses or anybody trying to save my life. Okay. They call it practicing medicine for a reason, because it's not an exact science, right? It's practice. And so that's what they're doing. So you can't get mad at them when they're trying to save your life. They're doing everything they possibly can within what they have to work with. And so to me, it's like, I encourage them so they'll be more encouraged to do other things better for me, right? Maybe find something, maybe look a little more into the research of what's out there, because, that's what it's all about. It's like, 8 days after I got diagnosed, I started that charity, because I have had not one single sad day in it. I haven't had a day where like, oh, woe is me, this sucks. Like, it's always been, you know what? I'm going to do something in my life that will actually leave a ripple of impact long beyond my time, right? We talk about what is our return on investment, ROI, right? And I changed that ROI, my return on investment, to a ripple of impact. How far can my ripple go out beyond me? Right? How long can I get these ripples to keep going? Can I make it? Usually you throw the stone in the water and you get a little bit of ripples that go out and they get smaller and smaller. What if you can make it a tsunami? What if it keeps growing and just the movement becomes something bigger than yourself? And then it's like, okay, long beyond my time when I'm gone, I can actually give back to people. I can still be touching people. We're coming up with the new podcast, Dead Man Talking, just because of that reason. Dead Man Talking is about me talking beyond the grave after I'm gone. There will be questions that Kurt will always say, hey, when Marshall was on the show, he'd ask you these questions. And those questions will always be there, because that way I'm talking beyond the grave.
What are some signs people can look for? And what is a key token? There are people, it's difficult for some people just to wake up and try to create a mindset. What's a practice? Or what can they do? Like with me, when I start changing, I make sure my room is clean every day. I make sure every little item is exactly where it's supposed to be, because I'm redisciplining myself where I become lazy. And that's how I do it. Do you have a way you can help people that have gone through similar things?
So what I do usually when someone has been brought to me, early on, is you want to find out their mindset. I talk to them. I let them vent. Okay. 90% of the people you're going to talk to, they're in a dark place. Okay. And they just want someone to listen that understands from where they're coming from. So I listen to all of them. And usually what I hear is this: man, I'm losing everything in my life. Okay. I'm losing my family. I've lost my job. I can't provide for my family. I'm losing my wife. I'm losing my kids. I'm losing everything. And so I let that all just kind of just bend. Like, I understand exactly how you feel. And I do a whole lot of feel, felt, found with them. Right? I understand exactly how you feel. I felt the same way when that came to me. But what I found helped me is this. And at that point, I'll do this. I'm like, have you ever thought losing everything too? They're losing their father. They're losing their soulmate. They're losing their best friend. They're losing everything too. And guess what? They can't show it because they're your support system. And at that point, usually you get an aha moment. Right? And when I get that aha moment, I don't tell people I do this a lot, but I take a lot of neuro-linguistic programming and I start taking whatever their belief systems are. And if they're negative belief systems, I start tearing down the negative belief systems and installing positive belief systems back in them by challenging them, little weekly challenges that I do, because I do about 45 to 60 counseling calls a week myself. And so I put a little challenge together each and every week for them to do, just something that they can win in. And as they start to see that they can still do something, they can still, they may not be the man they was before. I'll never bench 545 again, but you know what? I could still go out and win. I've been, as a regional champion in Indianapolis as an axe thrower. Came back the last 2 seasons, won again. Boom. Because why? I wanted to show that I could still do it no matter how sick I was. No matter how sick I was. There was nights that I was leaning against the fence, setting myself back up, and then boom, and throwing the axe. And people were like, man, how do you do that? It's a matter of mindset. It's making sure that you chose. It's a choice. Everything we do in our life is a choice. Okay? Happiness, a choice, right? Can you find happiness in cancer? You can. Let me tell you how I found it, because I found it simply as this. Because of my successes in life, okay, that I had, I had a little bit of an ego. I had some materialism going on, right? As soon as cancer came, it wiped it away in an instant. What it left behind was a heap of clay that I could actually rebuild into something that was just, something so different that my friends, my family, and God could all be proud of. And so every day I challenge myself and others to be a blessing to anybody, to just somebody. If you do that, just when you lift another person up with our Sherpa program, which is our peer-to-peer counseling, those people lifting each other up in the darkest of hours gives them benefit, gives them a hope beyond anything they could have ever imagined.
It's unfortunate that people have to have crushing moments in their life for them to have an epiphany, to be like, wow, I was doing everything wrong,
And you don't walk away from people like that. Those are the people that need you the most. And you know what? When that person finally asks for help, that's when you need to be there, because it's going to be, we all say it, they have to hit rock bottom before. No, they need somebody there to catch them when they do hit rock bottom. Because if they don't, guess what? They go further into the ground. They keep going. It's just a downward spiral that they never stop. And you know what? A lot of those people end up taking their own lives. I mean, I have been involved in 4 suicide interventions with veterans that are just done. They're tired. They don't want to go through the pain anymore. Like, if I take the pain meds they want me to take every day, I'd be on 30 milligrams of morphine. And every 3 hours, I will be on 15 milligrams of oxycodone. I'd be a walking zombie. Okay?
That was me.
And dude, I mean, it's ridiculous what they want me to take. I can't live a life that way. Look, I can control pain to a certain level. I can take it. I'm a very high threshold to pain, so I can handle a lot. And so what I get throughout the day is somebody taking a shit, shoving it into my liver, twisting it around and pulling it back out. That's what it feels like about 12 to 14 times a day, constant. And so every day, no matter what I'm doing, some days it's enough to buckle me over, and I'll, wince, but I don't usually show pain. I don't like to. I mean, still have some pride about myself. So, I mean, you got to be a tough guy, right? Especially being an Italian kid, you always want to be tough. And 27, I just had 5 days ago. So last week, I just got out of the hospital from it. I had emergency surgery. So my 27th stent exchange. So every 4 to 6 weeks, they have to pull in and put stents into my bile ducts to keep them flowing. If those don't flow, my liver shuts down. I cease to exist. So I've had 27 of those since July of 21. I feel pretty good. I mean, obviously I'm out here. I wouldn't have missed it for the world. This is an opportunity that I thought, it gives me a chance to continue to show people, no matter what you're going through, no matter how much pain you're dealing with, no matter if you just got out of the hospital, you don't have to sit there with a mask on in your house, scared that your immune system's not going to hold you. I get it. Like, you could be scared that way, or you can continue to live your life. And that's what this is all about. Living your life right up until the point that you die, right? Not dying a little bit every day, which is so many people do. Even the healthy ones.
And I see that, and it crushes me, it breaks my heart, because I'll ask people, I go, if I was to sit down with you and I was to ask you, what is your purpose? I said, for one, you're not even going to understand my question when I say purpose, because you're going to say, well, I got a job and my purpose is to take care of my kids. Why do you got to put you on this planet? To work a job, take care of kids? Well, what is your purpose? And a lot of people can't answer what their purpose is.
Mine God has shown me is to show people how to live. Show people how to live, right? In whatever time I have left. God only knows. We're all on a clock. We're all on the clock, right? And God's the only one who knows at the time that we're going to leave. He knows the time and the place. He knows exactly when it's going to happen. And you know what? That's why I say cancer's been a blessing to me. It took the worst parts of me and got rid of them and left behind them the best parts, the parts that realizes that this is an opportunity, the best opportunity that I'll ever have to teach friends, family members, and others that when adversity comes, when the darkness is right in front of you and it's facing you, that you can do it with courage, you can face it with strength, you can face it with hope, and you can do it with dignity. You don't have to go out. The job of dying defiantly that I started was to help others go into eternity on their terms, not the terms dictated by the illness, by their families, or by the doctors. Their terms, right? And I don't push religion on anybody, but I tell them this. Look, you get a terminal diagnosis, you're going to go to God at some point and ask him to save you. I don't care who you are, right? It's just going to happen.
Actually really breaks it down. The representation of dying finally.
Exactly. And the colors, what they mean to the dark, the black on it. So it's black, white, and red, right? So the black is the darkness of the journey that everybody's on with a terminal diagnosis. The white is the light that we provide to them. In the red, that's resembling the blood of Christ that flows in all of us. And so I usually don't tell people, I just say it's the blood that flows in all of us. I don't always push the Christ thing because so many people get it. Oh, you're offended by it. I don't mean to offend anybody. I tell people just believe in something bigger than you.
That's right.
Okay. Just, strong mind, right? Believe healing starts here, right? A strong mind, a strong body. A body in motion is a body alive. In a strong faith. Just believe in something bigger than you. I don't care if that's the Easter Bunny or Santa Claus, right? It will all lead you back to the code, the rule, the person that you need to be in charge. The person that's going to guide you down this journey when I can't do it anymore, right? And so God is that answer, right? He's going to be the person that lifts you up. You really have doubts.
I died my second operation months ago. It made me reflect a lot of weird things. It made me reflect because it really happened. I'm not indestructible anymore. I just realized that.
Yes.
It made me reflect different. It made me reflect life differently. Why people they have such a traumatic moment in their life in order to really see the power of simplicity. Why have we become so busy in our life? We only recognize when we find out we're going to die. Why are we?
That's because value to you, right? It's okay. I tell people all the time right now, the greatest gift I can give anybody is my time because I don't know how much of it I have left, right? I'm already 16 months past what every doctor said I would. Basically, what they explained to me is July of 22, I was in the hospital. Okay. 13 bacterial infections going on in my liver. I had 106.3 temperature. I was in ICU. I had a 26.3% chance of getting out of the hospital. That was the odds. So I prayed to God that night. I said, okay, God, you know what? If this is it, then get to taking me because you know what? I'm just not going to sit here and play this game. If not, let's get to getting me out of here so I can get some work done, right? Because we still have a lot left to do. And so it was 4 days later, boom, my body started coming back around and it was like, wow, and like people were like, you're an anomaly. It doesn't happen. And so at that moment I sat down with him. I said, docs, I said, okay, we've done chemo. We've done chemo multiple times. And they're like, oh yeah, we're going to continue enough. And no, we're not. Like, is this chemo got a chance to save me? They're like, no, it's maintenance. I'm like, then we're done with this kind of maintenance. I said, we'll continue doing the immunotherapy because it seems like it has some kind of benefit to me. And then I said, other than that, I said, this is the way it's going to be. And they're just like, it's your body. I'm like, it is my body. It's my choice.
But they won't do that operation on you though.
They won't do that.
Not the 7% one.
No, because that's their odds. They don't want to, house doesn't ever lose, right? So it's, it's a Vegas rules. They don't, they don't ever want to take that chance because, hey, it is what it is. It's so, now here it is, 16 months past, right? Yeah. I just spent last week in the hospital,
How often do you make visits in the hospital? Was it every couple of weeks?
Yeah, I'm in surgery every 4 to 6 weeks, and I'm doing infusion every 4 weeks.
So it's a
And
lifestyle.
yeah, it is. I mean, it's just part of what I do now. So when I go in there, I mean, I get in trouble all the time. Like when I was in last week, I didn't stay in. Okay, here I am in the oncology, and I'm walking around the ward, and I'm looking at all the people that are in the different rooms, and I'm reading all their different charts on the side, and I'm like, I'm the healthiest, and I'm like, so I started popping around the rooms. I'm like, hey, what you? They're like, I got cancer. Like, yeah, me too. Right. We're in jail or something. Right. And so everybody, make them laugh for a little bit. Have it, talk to them for a minute. Like, people are like, Marcia, you need to head back to your room. I'm like, hey, I'm just, spend some time talking, getting around, saying hi to these people because, they don't have anybody there visiting them. I mean, most of these people were there alone. Eventually shut up. Nobody. I mean, I got the greatest compliment the other day when I was in the hospital. 23-year head of the GI department comes in, and he was in a couple times checking on me with this other people, and he probably spent a total of maybe 20 minutes in the room. He got the opportunity to hear a little bit about me and my story and how I think and how I face everything. He comes in Saturday morning. It's before 8 a.m. And I'm like, what is this guy doing here? He pops inside and he goes, Mr. Moore, should I talk to you for a second? I'm like, he's from Thailand. Sure, come on in. And he's like, yeah, I'm coming in to do a research project. It's some work on my research project, but I've been talking about you to my wife for the last couple nights. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, in the 23 years that I've run this department, have never been impacted so much by one patient as I have been you in the last few days. And I want my children who are in high school to be a part of this organization because of what you do. And I don't know what they can do. I feel like my family, I want my children involved in this. He says, he goes, you speak so much of Buddhism in your thoughts, right? And I'm like, I do. And he says, you're just a very spiritual person. You're just a wonderful inspiration to others. And every single person that walks in that room, you make them feel important. Every nurse, every doctor, every fellow because it's from IU, right? So it's IU's medical school. They got these kids coming in and I'm talking about this. And I spend a minute saying, the moment you walk in the door is the moment when the doctoring begins. And that doesn't begin by you looking at your chart. That begins by you putting your chart down, interacting with the person that realizes. And so then every one of them, I try to teach. And I said, you want to learn how to treat a person? Go watch the movie Patch Adams, right? Robin Williams. He will show you. I'm not talking about being a clown. I'm talking about being personable with the people. If you put it on a level and then I talked to them, I said, most people don't understand when you say, hey, we're going to give you this drug, Folvox, and this drug, Sen and Jess, and these are all chemo drugs, and that's going to attack your cancer. Most of the veterans are going to be like, okay. But if you say, hey, look, we're going to give you Folvox. This is a 50 caliber armor piercing round that's going to break down the outer walls of the cancer. Now, the Sen and Jess, these are the two smaller rounds that are going to allow you to have an opportunity to kind of maybe just see what's going on and give you some suppressive fire, right? So it's going to take the attention of the cancer away from what Folvox is really going to do. If Folvox is, there's going to be some supplemental damage, okay? It's not just going to go in there, you realize when you're shooting a 50 caliber armor piercing round, there's probably going to be some damage to some other areas, okay? So you understand what's going on. If you start breaking it down to a soldier, he understands it better. He knows, right, that drug is this. It's not just what they just said. It's cisplatin or it's, Folvox. It's, they now know that that's a 50 cal. This is a freaking 223 round. This is a 7.62. They're all giving you suppressive fire, but this one's actually doing a little bit more for you. So doctors are like, that's amazing. And I'm like, guys, it's people.
Right.
That's all it is. This is about people. And that's what I am. I'm just about people. Like, look, I'm nothing special. I'm just a guy with cancer. And when it probably goes green, it's probably going to go really fast. And, and I had a kid that I had been 48 years, I say kid, younger than me, obviously, 48-year-old young man, that last month had a great scan. Things were going well. And then right before I went in the hospital, on the Saturday before I went in the hospital, he got a stroke. It admits to his brain, it molested him, just like that. Stroked out, heavy seizure the next day. I drove 4.5 hours up to see him in Michigan. Spent 2 hours with him. Just kind of made him smile, made him laugh. Knew what was going to happen, right? Because once they put you to that point, you sign the papers, you're not giving you water, you're not giving you food. Well, what's your 3 to 4 days max with water? That's it. So at that point, you knew what was going to happen. And his wife just looked at me and she goes, Marcia, did I do the right thing? I'm like, I wouldn't want to live like that.
I didn't want to bring this up, but I do want to bring it up now because during the conversation on a recent show about if somebody has very bad terminal illness and they're to a point where they're going to start going real bad and they wanted to take their life instead of letting the cancer take their life. We're having a discussion on, of course, faith plays a big role on how you believe in that.
Yes.
But, I also look at it too, kind of a stubborn, not my rules, my way, and I don't want my children and my family and my wife to see that kind of position. I want them to remember me for this.
That's right.
So I go back and forth with that. I don't ever want to think about having to do that, right? I don't want everyone in a position to have to do that, but it's a reality of the world we live in.
Do it to dogs.
Well, there was a lady who wrote a book, and she was a hospice nurse, and she wrote about what changed in people's lives once they found out they were terminal. It was incredible to hear that the guy who's been driving to work this route for 30 years, well, I realized that how beautiful the drive to and from work was. I mean, it is amazing. The lady who was in the hospital, the only thing she wanted was to go sit on the swing one more time. The power of the simplicity of that message in that book, when I hear about what we chase in life, what we're chasing, what I'm chasing, what we do, our jobs, careers, issues, wrong, right? Politics. But at the end of the day, man, when we're taking our last breath, how much is even relevant?
It's none of it is, right? None of it is. The most important things is the simplest things, right? Tomorrow, when I get a chance to speak in front of everybody, the number of people that'll be there, 9,000, 10,000, it's almost the exact amount of people that are diagnosed every single day with a terminal illness. So imagine at a stadium filled with people. That's what my speech is going to be about tomorrow. I want people to resonate, that look around, you, your family member, any one of you in there could have that same diagnosis tomorrow, right? And then what do you do? Who do you turn to? Who's going to be there for you, right? Do you surface it? Yeah. I mean, it does. And that's what I said. I'm like, I was standing. You ever been to Newport, Rhode Island?
Wait,
okay, the breakers. I was out.
Yes.
Here I was. I'm looking at the breakers 8 days after my diagnosis. I'm standing there. I'm like, and I remember this. I'm like, I've got my look and I'm looking up at this and my girl's taking this picture, right? And she's just like, and I'm like, what are you doing? And she's just thinking, let me think. So I was just thinking, I'm like, God, if I had the Vanderbilt money, I could change the world. And then in a moment, it was like a slap across the face. And God's like, you don't need the Vanderbilt money. You can change the world one person at a time. He reminded me at that moment, it's not the number of seeds in an apple, it's the number of apples that cover one seed. And he was just, you are going to change the world. And in 2 years, without any assistance from anyone else, I basically helped 13,000 people without fundraising, without anything else, just a team of 7 counselors and myself trying to do it. And everybody wants to talk to me. It's like nothing special. I didn't have to tell people I'm not a counselor, right? I'm just a guy with cancer.
But you understand.
Understand.
So no, I was going through a situation that came up because they're trying to make me feel better and they said they understand. I felt more offensive if somebody told me understood my situation. I don't know why I did. I don't know why I took so much offense. because they're just trying to be a good person. They're trying to comfort me.
They don't know what to say.
They don't know what to say.
Caregivers don't know what to say. I mean, it happens in my caregiver. And in caregivers, they start dying right along with the other person. And I got this from so many. I feel like I'm dying right along with Jason. I feel like I'm dying right along with, I feel like Marshall, I need you to call to save him. He only listens to you. I'm like, I can't save anyone. All I can do is remind them who they are, right? It's for them to make that choice again to fight, right? And so I remind them who they are. And usually a day later, I get a call. Man, I don't know what you said to him. He got off the phone crying, but he was like, let's fight, let's do this. And, dude, I lose so many people. I mean, in the last month, I've lost 8 people.
How can they contact you guys, follow the organization, or again, both?
Just go to www.dyingdefiantly.org, okay? Hit the help me, right? Fill out the form, whatever you need. I will call you. I personally will call you. I will reach out to you and I will offer assistance. I won't leave it to somebody else to do it. I will be that person that you will contact up until my dying breath. Okay. If you want to give, the give section's right there. We have multiple ways you can give, from trusts, wills, cars, whatever you want to do. We take anything of value. I mean, if you want to volunteer, just let me know there too as well. I can help you out. We are across the United States. Matter of fact, we have touched people across the world because I turn no one away. No one. I mean, I know we're all about veterans, but I don't care if if somebody reaches out to me. I don't turn anyone away. My thing is to help everyone. Everyone that's dying of a terminal illness. And terminal means you have 1 month to 12 months. That's what you have. That's what we're here for. We're here for you. It's never been about me. 99.6% of all monies that come in go back to the programs. Nothing gets spent on business cards and a few other small little things to mail things. That's the rest is all on you.
What is the website?
www.dyingdefiantly.org.
Defiantly.org. Messages to those who are watching.
I will tell you guys this. Everything is a choice. Choose to live. Choose to do it in a manner that you do it. Not that it's going to be dictated by your family, by anybody but yourself. You decide how you want to go out. And when you tell your family, this is what's going to be done. You know what? Because it's your choice. It's your life. Live at the very best to the very end.